Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me for another What's for Dinner. If you are new here and you don't know what a What's for Dinner is, it is where I share a couple recipes for different meals that we've had throughout the week, and I hope that you guys will give them a try. And I promise you, I'll never show you something on here that we don't love ourselves. So let's get ready to go into the kitchen and get started. So the first meal that we're going to make is steak bites with twice baked potatoes. I'm going to get started on the baked potatoes first. I am horrible about doing mine in the oven. They never come out all the way cooked. I don't know why. I have no clue what I'm doing wrong. So I prefer to make mine in the crock pot. So all you want to do is grab some russet bacon potatoes. Get as many as you need. For our family, we only need 4. So I just scrubbed my potatoes really good. Put it on a sheet of tinfoil, drizzle with some olive oil and sprinkle with some salt, and then just wrap it up like you would a regular baked potato. Put it straight down in your crock pot. Yes, it is okay if the tinfoil is in the crock pot. Put your lid on, set this for 8 to 10 hours, and let it cook all day long. So once we've got the potatoes going in the crock pot, it's time to get started on making our marinade for our beef bites. And all we're going to do in a large Ziploc bag is add directly in there a 1/3 cup of olive oil, a 1/2 cup of soy sauce, a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce, a teaspoon of minced garlic or garlic paste, which is equivalent to 1 clove of garlic, 2 tablespoons of dried basil, a tablespoon of dried parsley, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and then add in your beef. I used about 1.5 pounds. Put it all right into that Ziploc bag and zip it up. Once you've got everything in the bag and zipped shut, go ahead and just smush it around. I know that's not a proper cooking term, but just smush it around, get it all the beef bites coated, and then just stick it right back in that bowl, stick it in the fridge, and we're going to let it marinate for at least 3 hours. Once the potatoes are done, you want to cut them in half and scoop out the insides, and we're going to make our filling for the twice baked potatoes. We're going to go ahead and add in a 1/3 cup of milk, 1/3 cup of sour cream, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And you also want to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. Once the filling is completely combined, go ahead and scoop it back into your potato boats or potato skins. And then from this point, you want to top with the remaining 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. And then pop it into the oven to bake at 375 for about 30 to 35 minutes, depending on your oven. But if you're like us and you want a little extra pop of flavor before you throw it in the oven to bake, go ahead and put some bacon bits on top, or either fry up some bacon and crumble it up and just sprinkle all over the top. While your potatoes are finishing up in the oven, go ahead and cook your beef bites. We cooked ours till they were well done. You can cook them with as little or as much pink left in there as you like, but I promise you, you should try this because it is a 10 out of 10. So tonight is burger night and we're throwing those on the grill. But as a side, I'm going to make an easy pasta salad that is just a handful of ingredients, but packs a big punch of flavor. Once I get my cucumber peeled, I am just slicing it all the way down, and then I'm going to cut each slice in half and set to the side. Now I have an 8-ounce container of cherry tomatoes. I'm just going to cut those in half, and I'm only going to use about 3/4 of the container. When you finish cutting your tomatoes in half, make sure you drain your can of olives. This is a 4-ounce can, and set it to the side. Go ahead and cook an entire box of tricolored rotini noodles until they are al dente. Drain them and add them in a large bowl, and then you want to put all your vegetables on top, as well as a 4-ounce container of crumbled feta cheese. And now you're going to add in your dressing. I used about a half a cup. You can use more or less, totally up to you, but toss it all together until all the noodles and vegetable pieces are coated. Once it's all mixed really well, go ahead and cover it with some plastic wrap, throw it in the fridge, and let it chill until it's time to serve. And like I told you, we're having burgers, so we just threw some burgers on the grill. I did patty these up myself, but I did mix in some La Selva Beach steak and burger spice, and it is so good. I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. But we just cook these until our desired doneness, which, if y'all know me, I am a well done kind of girl. And then we just bring them in and plate them up, serve them how we like. I'm just a mayonnaise and lettuce kind of girl on mine. And the last meal that we're going to have is semi-homemade Swedish meatballs. This is a comfort food that I grew up on, and my kids love it, and I'm sure you will too. To start, I'm going to bring a pot of water up to a boil, and I'm going to salt that heavily so it can season our noodles. And I'm just going to add in an entire bag of egg noodles and cook those until they're done. In my large Dutch oven, I have already preheated it, warmed it up, got it ready for my butter. Now I'm going to put 6 tablespoons of butter down in there and let that melt. Once the butter is melted down, I add in my all-purpose flour, about a 1/4 cup plus 3 tablespoons. Cook that for 2 minutes. Add in 4 cups of beef broth, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, a tablespoon of salt, and about a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and bring that to a boil. Reduce the heat and add in a 1/2 cup of heavy cream and let it simmer for about 10 minutes until it's thickened. During this time, you want to drain your egg noodles and add them to a casserole dish, and then pour your sauce directly onto the noodles and stir it to combine. Now, I did reserve a little bit of the sauce. That way, once I get done combining all of the sauce and noodles together, I'm going to put my meatballs on top. You can do this with frozen meatballs or homemade, either way. I chose frozen. I did not realize my meatballs were as large as they are, but I guess that's what happens when you buy them from a like discount club warehouse store. So I used about 12 to 14 meatballs on top of ours. And then once I get them all nestled down inside of the egg noodles, I'm just going to pour that reserved sauce over the top. That way the meatballs have that little extra bite of sauce. Once you've got all the egg noodles and meatballs coated in the sauce, go ahead and put this in a 375-degree oven and bake for 30 to 35 minutes. Once your bake time's up, go ahead and pull it out, let it cool off just a little bit, and then serve it up as is. You can throw some bread with this or a vegetable on the side, but it's filling enough by itself that you don't need a lot. I hope you guys try this and love it as much as we do. I hope you guys enjoyed these meals, and we'll try at least 1 or 2 of these recipes. For more recipes and videos like this, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. All right, bye y'all.